Hiya Thomas, hope you're well. Nice to communicate with you on Facebook the other night. Just a little bit of info that I promised you in regards to improving your ability to get the club more online at P2. This is one of my pupils, Steve, who unfortunately, the bottom footage here now that I'm running through is much better than he could ever get it before. I mean, previously the club face used to rotate way open, and the shaft of the club would be much further behind him than what we're seeing in this particular piece of footage. However, there is still an element of rolling of accumulator 3, but not enough setting of accumulator 2 during his takeaway. As a result, that club creeps behind him a little bit more. Also, when viewed from face on, the hands work very, if you will, wide or in a linear manner on the way back. So what we've tried to do is, and it's based on observations I've made and then followed up with a conversation with James Ridyard about certain players I've seen on YouTube where the club seems to get elevated much quicker from P1 to P2 than I was seeing with my pupils. That's largely a Mac thing. He likes to see the wrist fully set at P2. So the advice I was given was to stop or limit the amount the arms can travel and encourage the player to work the club or the butt of the club down and slightly under so that the wrist set is in there by P2. And you can see when that happens, because the player now is focusing so much on setting the wrist, there's very little rotation, if any, of accumulator number 3 during the takeaway. So certainly the advice I've been given and the training I've been given recently suggests that if the club is getting rolled behind, as we see here on the bottom left at P2, that is because there's insufficient setting of the wrist to offset the rolling of number 3 during the takeaway. So you can see the blocking the wrist. The way I framed it initially was from face on. I was trying to almost feel like P2 was looking like P6. So when viewed from face on, we'd see the left arm a little bit more in line with the right leg, wrist fully hinged, toe end of the club slightly down, but nothing major. So the butt of the club is working under and down P1 to P2. Would I suggest that to everybody? Probably not. But for someone who whips the club inside and fans it open and really struggles to get the club online at P2, I think that's a very valid piece to introduce. The other thing I mentioned was working on the grid. Top right here, I've got the ball, if memory serves me right, normal standard ball position, which for me gets the club working a little bit too much in at P2, but not a great deal. Here I've got the normal, or the ball further forward in the grid and the handle further back. I'm just trying to hit a pull shot. And you can see as a result that club stays a little bit more out in front of me, quite a lot more out in front of me at P2, and is a little bit more toe down. So all I've done really is I've altered the ball location and the handle location. So on the top right footage I've got a standard ball location with my handle forward, which produces this takeaway. The bottom right, I've got the ball forward and the handle back slightly, which is giving me a feel for this takeaway, and the subsequent effect that has on other positions in the swing. Club much more in at P6 as opposed to club more out at P6. Shoulder alignment slightly different as well, much squarer, slightly shut off. So that's the way I use the grid, really to give a player a feel and a visual of where that club could be at any given point in the swing. Once the player gets the idea that he can make that change, he's much more open to working diligently on whichever piece I gave him. So I use the grid quite a bit, change the ball position, change the handle location, just to alter and show the student how changes can be made in the swing without too much conscious thought and too much hard work. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, I know I've got loads of questions. I'll probably fire a few to yourself over the coming months. Good luck with it and keep in touch. All the best.